I need to study more deen. Okay, well, you haven't spent any time with your wife for 2 months. Yeah, but I'm studying deen right now. Well, you're spending time with your wife is actually a part of your deen. Playing with your kids is a part of your deen. Earning is a part of your deen. You know, it's okay to have some lahu. It's okay to have some entertainment. It's okay to play sports. It's okay to play a video game every once in a while. It's fine. There's nothing. Where does the harm come from? I'm going to speak to you now about the two things that Allah mentioned that distract from the remembrance of Allah: trade and distraction. Distraction. Another term you can use for distraction is also entertainment. Lahu can also mean entertainment. Okay. Now, what Allah is teaching us in this ayah is that these two things in this particular incident were the main culprit. They were going through a hard time. Money was a big factor. They had to get their business trade deals done, their groceries bought, or whatever they had to do. And that became a heavy factor for them to walk away from the remembrance of Allah. But not everybody went to the caravan because they were going to do trade. Some people, when you see a bunch of people going somewhere and you see a lot of noise or lights, you're like, what's going on there? So you go also. So the second group of people went for the purpose of entertainment, or they just want to distract themselves, right? So sometimes you have a bazaar, or when you go to the mall on the weekend, right? Not everybody's in the mall shopping. Most people are just walking around without a purpose in the universe. So there's some people that are actually buying stuff, selling stuff, etc. But then a lot of it is just lahu, right? Conventions, trade shows, things like that. There's people that go and actually do business, and other people just say, hey, let's go see what's happening. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's also, in one of the narrations that I didn't share with you, it was also the case that every time there would be a wedding, that the Arabs had a tradition before Islam that they kept even early after Islam, in the early time of the Prophet ﷺ, that the girls, the friends of the girl who's getting married, they would start singing and playing the drum and doing this stuff to celebrate the girl's wedding. It was like a girl's party, and they would do this whole thing on the street, right? And every time that happened, people got attracted to that and wanted to see what's going on, or people were having fun or whatever. It's like a little party going on the street, So that's also part of lahwan. Now, the question that arises from this is entertainment or business a bad thing? Because Allah is putting it against, the remembrance of Allah and leaving the Prophet ﷺ stranded. Our deen gave us a really amazing balance. Allah gave me obligations in my prayers every day. Allah told me certain things are prohibited for me. Allah told me certain things are prohibited for me to eat. Certain ways of earning money are wrong for me. Certain, pleasures or whatever, there's only a halal way to get to them, and all the haram avenues are closed from me. And in every other matter, Allah Azza wa Jalla just, so long as I'm living a purposeful life, there's nothing else expected from me. There's not much more than that expected from me. So, for example, I jokingly asked some of you guys, or some of you gamers, and some of you, mashallah, raised your hand, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. It's okay to have some lahu. It's okay to have some entertainment. It's okay to play sports. It's okay to play a video game every once in a while. It's fine. There's nothing. Where does the harm come from? Our religion gave us principles. If you're not violating any of the principles, then you're fine. If your entertainment or your work is taking you away from the mandatory remembrance of Allah, it's taking you away from what you should be doing, then there's the extreme. By the way, there's the opposite extreme too. I'm not doing enough for my deen. I need to study more deen. Okay, well, you haven't spent any time with your wife for 2 months. Yeah, but I'm studying deen right now. Well, you're spending time with your wife is actually a part of your deen. Playing with your kids is a part of your deen. Earning is a part of your deen. Right? Keeping inna li nafsika alayka haqqa. Your own person has rights over you too. Quran even says, "La tansa nasibaka min ad-dunya." Don't forget your own portion in this life. Allah made us appreciate, for example, if I was studying all day and the Quran says, "Wal habbu dhul asfi wal rayhan," and the farm and the winds that blow that have beautiful smell in them, how am I going to sit there in the masjid and understand this ayah? In order to appreciate this ayah, what would I have to do? I have to go outside. Where is قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ? Go travel in the land. فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ بَدَأَ الْخَلْقُ. Take a look, how did creation begin? I can't do that sitting and studying or doing dhikr. I have to go. That's the dhikr too. That's why the ayah, the ultimate dhikr of the week is Jumu'ah, and then Allah says, فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Go spread out. وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. So there was this three-dimensional view of the dhikr of Allah. Yes, sometimes lahu, entertainment, is okay in some quantity. But the thing with these things is they easily become addictions. And when they become addictions, you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in them, and you don't know when to stop. Right? And that's at that point, it's taking you away from the remembrance of Allah. Okay? And that point, it becomes a problem. By the way, some people become workaholics, don't they? They're always thinking business. They're always thinking, oh, gotta open up the next store. They're always thinking, gotta make the more profits, or keeping track of the stock, or whatever else you're doing, Bitcoin or whatever, anything that immerses you so much that now your basic remembrance of Allah is going away. Your obligations to family are going away. You're not even, your connection to the Quran is disappearing. Then this is where you have to draw a line. So Allah mentioned these two things because these two things are actually so dangerous, so powerful, tijara and lahu, that they can even take someone away from the Prophet standing there. They're that powerful. So don't underestimate them. Deal with these. We have to do business. Entertainment at some level and distraction at some level is a necessity in life, but make sure you understand you're dealing with something that can easily go out of balance, that can easily become very powerful and start replacing the remembrance of Allah. Notice also something, a final quick observation, two observations about the use of these two words in this ayah. Allah mentioned them twice. وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا انْفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا. First interesting thing is Allah said إِلَيْهَا. Even though there's two things, it would be إِلَيْهِمَا. But He said إِلَيْهَا, just one. And the ha is referring back to tijara. And some said, because they're all fused together. Another rhetorical purpose of this could be that the lahu, the distraction, is actually emanating from the tijara. In other words, let me put this to you another way. It could be that you're making good money, and because you're making money, now you can afford a PS5. And now you can download the newest game. And you're making good money, and now you can go on that extra vacation. Or now you can buy the tickets to the game. Or now you can... So the more tijara happens, the more room for lahu comes in, right? So the real culprit then becomes, why are you making more money? Are you making more money because you want the more expensive vacation? Are you making more money because you want to distract yourself with, more movies, more games, more whatever? That's the goal from the money. So it's creating more distraction. By the way, distraction isn't just distracting activities. Sometimes it's stuff. You want to buy more stuff. You want to collect more stuff, right? And so the main culprit, tijara, is actually highlighted in that. But also in the incident, the main culprit was the trade caravan, right? More people, the first reason people got up is because they wanted to buy something. Secondarily, people got up and said, hey, some people are getting up, we should get up too. So the tijara group was A and the lahu group was B. But then at the end of the ayah, Allah flipped the equation. He flipped the sequence. He said, قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ. Tell them what Allah has in His possession is better. مِنَ اللَّهْوِ وَمِنَ التِّجَارَةِ. What Allah has in His possession is better than entertainment and better than trade. So He flipped it. So in the beginning of the ayah was tijara lahu, and at the end of the ayah it's lahu tijara. What could the reason for that be? This is what we see in the Quran multiple times, a transition from the specific to the universal, the general to the universal. The specific situation was there was a trade caravan that came, and Allah dealt with that. When they saw that trade opportunity, they left you standing there. And of course, Jumu'ah is so serious, nobody's just going to leave Jumu'ah because they want to play a video game. They might leave Jumu'ah because it's a really important business meeting. So the real thing that might pull you away from the Friday prayer is going to be some business situation. But then Allah mentioned in general, universally, if all of human beings were told they should remember Allah and what Allah is offering them is better, then the common denominator among us is not business. The common thing among us is entertainment, actually. That's first. Why? Because not everybody is doing business. Not everybody is working. But everybody is still distracted. Everybody still wants some form of entertainment, right? So lahu is actually the more universal culprit, generally speaking. So Allah says, in general in life, you should remember, tell them what Allah has is better than entertainment and better than business. Now, what is it that Allah has? What's He referring to that Allah has? In this case, anything Allah commands you to do, in this case, Allah wanted me to come to the remembrance of Allah. That remembrance of Allah is building something in me. He's giving me a treasure. So He's actually almost commodifying the dhikr of Allah. Allah didn't say remembering Allah is better than entertainment and trade. Allah is saying what Allah has is better than entertainment and trade, as if to say, when I truly remember Allah, Allah gives me something. Allah gives my heart something. Allah gives my soul something. Allah gives barakah to me in some way. And that thing that Allah gives me, whatever it is, it cannot be named because He gives it in different ways to different people. That's why ma is used. Whatever Allah has, right? He didn't say it's the thawab of the akhirah. He didn't say it's a new job that Allah will get you. He didn't say it's a sickness that Allah will remove from your life. He didn't specify it, but it's something that Allah has. And the only way for you to get it is by the dhikr of Allah. And if you can get that, then you will realize that that is better than entertainment and that's better than trade. And Allah is the best of ar-raziqeen.